What's up? This is Ben from Life in 360. I'm here in Melbourne and I'm with my buddy SeaMonkey360, aka Brendan. You might have seen him on Instagram. And this episode is going to be about how to crush it on Instagram. We're both two people that have been fortunate enough to build quite a decent sized Instagram following. And it's by no coincidence. We both do things that elevate our growth much faster, I think, than the average account. And in this video, I'm going to really aim to share as much as I can with you guys so you can really help dominate Instagram. And it's very easy. Instagram's a free tool for all of us. So I think hopefully you get a lot of value out of this. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys some of my presentation from my workshop with Samsung, which is why I came here. So first, I just want to ask Brendan a few questions because my Instagram journey started 2.5 years ago, and it took me forever to even get to 1,000 followers. And then I noticed this guy on Instagram with the handle SeaMonkey360, and he reached 1,000 followers so fast. He's now at like 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, slowly growing.
And he did it at lightning speed compared to me. I'm now at about 15,000, 15.7 I think I'm at now, but that took me a long time. This guy is growing way faster than me. It's putting me to shame. So I really want to maybe pick his brain and just work out how he did it, how he grew so fast. Because he's only been on Instagram 11 months, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's not a long time, but he has been doing stuff that, to me, makes it obvious about why he's grown. So can you tell me, like, roughly what is your general approach to Instagram?
Well, I guess community. If you want people to follow you and like you gotta give back. You gotta give back to them what they give to you. So you gotta, post, comment, like. You're not gonna make an Instagram page big if you don't comment or share comments with other people. It's that simple. People like to share with people that share back. Yeah.
And how many comments and likes will you do when you really want to hustle hard and go hard on Instagram?
Till my fingers bleed.
So his fingers bleed. I can't do that. My fingers are bleeding already from everything else. Like, tell me what kind of stuff you would do. Like when you were first growing your account, what did you do that had the biggest effect on your follower growth?
Well, I'd pick a time. I'd say 8 o'clock at night. I'd post 8 o'clock every time at that night. And at that time, from 8 till 12, I'll comment, I'll follow, I'll share some love around on Instagram. And each night that I do it, it gradually grows and it grows and it grows. So it's kind of the way I've taken it.
4 hours a night, that is hustling really hard. That's crazy. Are your fingers literally bleeding?
Yeah, my eyes are getting bad.
Yeah, oh my God. I get the worst screen glare, like from just staring at my screen. I'm on my phone, like, I swear, 12 hours a day. Like, it's unhealthy. I need to see a doctor, yeah. I think. But, okay. So you will manually go and find people's accounts that are in the 360 niche.
Yep.
How do you go about finding those people that will potentially be your followers?
Well, I follow the hashtags, of course, and I find the most active hashtags, and that's how I found you, of course. Yeah, and once you find those hashtags, you want to stick to those hashtags. Yeah, of course you want to put as many hashtags as you can down in your posts, but you stick to, say, 3 or 4 hashtags where you want to gather as many people, show yourself to as many people as you can through those hashtags. Yeah.
And which hashtags have you found to be the most effective, and how did you whittle it down to those specific ones?
TINYPLANETBUFF, because that's got a really good community. Everyone's really supportive and whatnot on there. LITTLEPLANET hashtag. That's like the biggest one, I guess. And
Life in 360.
Yeah, and Life in 360. Yeah. That's going to be
the best one.
Yeah, that's the best one. I was getting to there, saving best for last. Yeah. But yeah, I use all those hashtags to find new people that are coming onto it. But not only using those hashtags, you can go to ones that are related to 360s in any way, say like landscape photos and anything that's kind of a broader aspect of it. And you can show people something new because I haven't seen it yet because it's so new. You can go to anyone's page that hasn't been exposed to 360 and you get them to like your straight away. You'll get them hooked.
Yeah. Something that really blew me away when I first joined Instagram was on my very first post, I had over 50 complete strangers like my post. Yeah. That would never ever happen on Facebook or anywhere else really. My discoverability was so high that within 1 hour I had 50 likes from people that had found me through hashtags. So although it can seem quite silly, like when you see someone posting a shitload of hashtags on their photo and it just seems like they're trying to get attention, it's actually an amazing discoverability tool.
That's right.
If you use them, you can start with 0 followers and you can get attention and people's eyes on your work instantly. So it is definitely an underrated thing that I don't see people doing enough. Just even using 10 to 15 increases your discoverability so much. So something I've noticed about Brendan's work is that he holds his work to a really high standard and it has a really strong theme to it. I would almost call him the Charlie Chaplin of 360. Like his photos are just so quirky and wacky, and that's what he's become known for. He's really found his niche and he dominates his niche, which is the quirky 360. So what would you say your approach to content is? Like, firstly, how do you go out and shoot something that you know people are going to like, and then also how often will you post it?
It's actually a broad subject because I'll go out with no plans in mind and I'll just find anything I can, any crevice, any corner, anything that has a good angle on it, and just see what it looks like. And sometimes I've had some real big failures, but other times it comes out really good and quirky. So yeah.
And what about posting? So how often, on average, will you post? Is it every day, every week? And how has that changed from when you started to where you are now?
Well, when I started, I was posting 3 times a day. I was flooding it, so everyone would see me posts. And then gradually these days, I'm only once a day. Particularly, sometimes it's once every week. But yeah, I've been falling out of it. But yeah, get back on your horses soon enough.
Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that all of your posts are consistently excellent. What are your rules for creating a piece of content you're happy with that you know is probably going to do well?
As long as it pops, as long as it's got good symmetry, something unique. Big egg heads are always good. That's pretty much it. Just go for what looks good. Don't settle.
I've got to say, when I first met Brendan and he had a normal sized head, I'm like, what the hell? Is this the same guy? Because every single time I see him pop up on my Instagram feed, he's got this massive head, or it's like banana shaped, or like he's got these like Gumby arms, like these big rubber arms and legs. So yeah, it's always funny. I get the same as well, actually. Whenever people see me in real life for the first time, they're like, wait a minute, don't you have a massive head? And yeah, I have to break it to them, sorry, but I don't. It's just for effect.
Average size.
Yeah, exactly. I have noticed that that the 360 and Tiny Planet shooters that hold their work to the highest standard often get the highest engagement. I would say you and Mikhail Bitar from the UAE get among the highest engagement out of anyone I've seen on Instagram, despite having way less followers than me personally. They get higher engagement. And look, I do try to hold my work to a pretty high standard, but to me, I'm learning as well. And I learned from guys like Brendan, who are doing really well. In under 12 months, he's grown to over 6,000 followers. So I think that's something we can all learn from Brendan. So you will want to check out his account. It's CMonkey360. I think we better get out of this rain. Yeah. Lucky the mesosphere is water resistant, because I don't want to go through a second mesosphere. So I want to talk a bit about Instagram now and how to crush it on Instagram, because you can actually grow a profile really fast. A few key things I've noticed have helped me get to 15. I'm now 15.6k after 2 years of posting Tiny Planets. That's from 0. And it was because of things I did. I really spent the time to learn marketing and understand social media strategy. So I'll share my shortcuts with you. Firstly, you need to make sure your profile is crystal clear about who you are and what you do. It needs to be clear in everything. So from the top, my name, Ben Claremont. So my suggestion is you can actually change your Instagram handle. Make sure your Instagram handle is clear. It's either your name or it is a handle that is short, memorable, or implies who you are and what you do. Whether it's like Savio360, or if it's just your full name, then people will actually know your name and be able to reference you. Hey, Savio's and yours is your name, so you've done a good job. So yeah, keep it your name, or keep it something short, catchy, and memorable. Think about it like as if you were to create a name for a company. You want it to be short and be very descriptive in the fewest amount of characters possible. Next, your photo. You need to make sure your photo is clear about what you do, who you are, and what you're about. If you're a tiny planet shooter, make it a tiny planet. I've always had mine as tiny planets, but now as I've become more of a teacher and a blogger, I recently changed it to this one, which is me holding a bunch of 360 cameras. I think that says like I'm a tiny planet blogger / teacher, and I work for lots of different companies. Next, we have Ben Claremont, camera photo. And then I've got a short little bio, but I think that says a lot in a little. That's what you need to be able to do with your bio. Say a lot in a little. Don't make it ambiguous. It really makes a big difference. Like if you essentially get like maybe 15 words. Those need to be the most specific 15 words to who you are and what you do and what you kind of want from your Instagram audience. Like who you're targeting. And who you want to be viewing your photos, and you essentially need a small call to action as well. If you do want people to work with you, or you have one specific goal for your Instagram, you need to make it clear. In your bio, just make it everything as clear as possible, and then put a website as well if you can. If you have a personal website, put it up there, or you can send them to another social media page of yours. If it's YouTube, Facebook, whatever. I send mine to my book URL, so if people want to learn how to make the tiny planets they see on my profile, I send them there. Finally, you see the photos. So, as you can see, I've got a theme to my Instagram, and that's tiny planets. Like there's no question that I'm a 360 guy and I shoot tiny planets, because you can scroll through my entire feed and all you'll see is tiny planets with the occasional photo of me holding a 360 camera, but it's very clear. There's a theme. The fastest way to grow on Instagram is to have a theme to what you do. So if you want to brand yourself as a 360 shooter, make it a 360 account and only post 360. If you want to brand yourself as a food blogger, you only post about food. You don't post like a selfie of you on a roller coaster, for example. You would post just about food, because then no matter what point in time people discover your profile, they'll see this is you, they'll read your bio, and they'll see your top six to 9 pictures, and they'll see, okay, this is what this person posts, this is what I'm going to get if I follow them. So it needs to be crystal clear. All of this, it's only a few things, a few little pictures, yet it makes the world of difference. This is the first impression. So next is only post your best work. That's a no-brainer. Obviously, like, don't post your second best works. For me, I like to think of it like this. If a photo is over an 8 out of 10, or according to my personal judgment, I'll post it. If it's under, even if it's a 7.99 out of 10, I'm not going to post it, because it's not the standard of work I hold myself to. And I think that's what's helped me grow, is I just haven't posted, I've got nothing to post today, I'll just post this crappy photo that I took a week ago. I'll never do that. I'd rather go a day without posting than posting substandard work. So if you really hold yourself to a high standard and force yourself to get out a really good work every day. And look, we went out shooting for half an hour and we got probably, I'm going to say each of us got 3 to 5 really good photos. You can do that day after day. If you can just make even 10 minutes to shoot a day, you can probably find at least one good post. Next is tell a story with everything you do and let people follow it. So revealing as much as you can about yourself is going to get people on your side and following your story. Don't just post a hashtag or an emoji, like actually tell people what you're doing. They actually really like following you and your story, because although it might seem like you're talking about yourself and you're being selfish, it's not, because I do it every day with my Instagram posts. Like I'll talk about in Melbourne today, like how cool is the St. Paul's Cathedral, and people love it because they see me, like I'm a 360 blogger, and this is something that actually gives value and helps them follow my story. And following a story is key to people like growing a bond to you. So that's really important. Don't leave the captions empty. Tell a story and reveal information about yourself that they would find interesting, even if it's just anything silly. It doesn't have to be too long either. It's just a balance of keeping it short and concise, yet telling a lot. Just like with the bio, you need to keep it short and concise, yet tell a lot. So always try your best to accompany your photos with a really good caption. There are also share accounts. It would be a good idea to try and get your work shared through some of the share accounts. There are 360 share accounts, lots of them online, as well as general share accounts. So there might be like Melbourne share accounts or something more specific to what you're doing. There'll be food sharing accounts. there's a few 360 sharing accounts. I've started my own share account, which is at Life in 360 Photo, where I share the best tiny planets. But this is a good way to get your audience, get your photos in front of an audience of 10,000 plus people who are going to see your work, appreciate your work, and then potentially like and follow you. So that's a new audience for you that you can then use in the future to show your work to, and then call them to action if you have any calls to action. Next is interact with your community. This is important. If someone comments on your work, obviously comment back. Don't be antisocial. Like, it's very easy to just like their comment or ignore them, even if it's just something generic. But just engaging and interacting with people and commenting on other people's photos who are in a similar niche to you is an amazing networking tool, because then they will almost certainly go to your account and work out who you are. They'll look at your work and they'll probably like and comment back. That's a very fast way to spread your name. Just comment on people's photos that you like. Ideally, someone under 10,000 followers, because then they're much more likely to see you and interact with you. So yeah, make sure you do that. Like as much as you can. Like I know on Facebook it's harder to like stuff because it means more on Facebook than it does on Instagram. Like if you like something, it's like you're actually making like a really conscious effort to reach out and connect to the person. Whereas on Instagram, it's not as serious. It's just like you like whatever you actually like. It doesn't mean anything. So liking as much as you can is a very good idea. Because when people see Ben Claremont like this, they'll click on Ben Claremont, they'll see my little face there, they'll see, hey, that guy's holding a 360 camera, and then they'll click on my name, then they'll see this is my pitch to them, and they'll be like, hey, that looks like a guy I might want to follow. He does what I'm doing, so I'm going to follow him and see what he posts. So my talk for Samsung went super well. That's the reason I came to Melbourne this time. Was to do my first ever in-person live workshop, and it was all about how to shoot 360 video like a pro. And it just went so well. Like, you know, when you do something and you think you can do it, you've done it before, but when the pressure's on, you're not sure if you can step up to the plate. And then you do it, and then you absolutely knock it out of the park, and you're like, what the hell was I worrying about? Like, this was easy. For me, that was this workshop. So now that I've done it and it turned out so well, I'm really considering the idea of traveling and going to a lot of the major cities around the world and delivering a similar workshop about 360 photo and video and just how to get amazing results. I'm going to look into it. I really would like to do it. So yeah, watch this space. You may see me in your capital city sometime soon. I think next I'm going to try LA, New York and San Francisco. I might try holding some workshops there, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, hope this was helpful. Make sure you get on top of your Instagram game, because Instagram is the most amazing marketing tool, and hey, it's free to you and me. And I've made a career now out of 360 and becoming one of the top 360 bloggers and influencers because of Instagram. That's where I started. So you can do it too. You can make bigger things than just a hobby out of Instagram. So I really suggest you get your social media marketing strategy well thought out, because that's going to bring you a lot of success in the future with your work. Alright guys, until next time, keep capturing your world in 360. This has been your boy Ben Claremont coming at you from Melbourne, Australia. I'm going to go now and get on my flight back to Sydney. See you in the next episode.